When I was 16 years old, I was preparing for my exams on a winter morning. The cold that day felt a little sharper than usual, but my focus was fixed on my books. And then, suddenly, in the middle of studying, a thought struck my mind. Where did we come from? Until that moment, I was more religious than spiritual, but science always held a stronger place in my heart. That question froze me, as if my entire mind had stopped moving. I had already been practicing meditation for years, but that day something was different. Instead of letting thoughts dissolve into silence, I chose to hold on to this one thought, to dive into its depth. Because I realized something simple yet profound. No thought comes into our mind without meaning. Even if 99% of our thoughts are noise, there is always some hidden truth in them. And so, I went deeper. I sat still for hours, 5 or 6, maybe more, completely immersed in this one question, as if the entire universe around me had disappeared. And in that stillness, answers began to rise. The first realization was that our consciousness, the special awareness that each of us carries, is not a random accident. It is the result of a journey spanning thousands, even millions of years. Our body, yes, it belongs to this earth, given to us by our parents, but consciousness, our true essence, travels through time and space, taking millions of years to finally reach this stage of existence on Earth. And when the body dies, that consciousness does not vanish. It begins another long journey, perhaps millions of years across galaxies, traveling to some other form of life, in some other world we have not yet discovered. But then another question arose. What is the price we must pay to move forward in this journey? What is the condition of crossing from this life to another stage? And the answer came clearly. Here on Earth, we must live not for ourselves, but for others. We must help in every way possible, not only humans, but every living being. We must stand for the poor, the weak, the oppressed. We must live as protectors of truth, carriers of compassion, and defenders of humanity. If we succeed in that, then perhaps we are allowed to pass into the next stage of existence, somewhere beyond this galaxy. Maybe that stage is what people imagine as aliens, or maybe it is something entirely different. We cannot know. But one thing is certain, life is not the end. Death only changes our form, while consciousness continues. It became clear to me that this world is a maze, a jugglery, a grand illusion. The majority of people, 99.99% perhaps, remain trapped in this web. They live entire lives without ever knowing the truth, repeating the same cycle again and again, caught in pleasures, distractions, and endless desires. And in this trap, they never move forward. They never realize that beyond this life lies another stage. This is why life on Earth constantly tries to keep us busy, to distract us with glitter, with comfort, with false promises. Because if we forget the truth, we remain stuck. But if we remember, even once, that our purpose here is not to be consumed by the illusions of wealth, power, or selfish gain, but to rise above them through kindness and service, then we hold the key to the next door. We carry within us the chance to cross over, to continue the infinite journey of consciousness. Imagine, what if failing this chance means we don't get another one? What if missing it throws us back to a lower stage, where consciousness must again travel millions of years before returning to this point? And what if, upon returning, we forget again? That is why I believe this earth is both a gift and a test. Some may ask, isn't all this just imagination? But even science says, no imagination is completely meaningless. Every thought, every vision carries a seed of truth. So even if my vision is not fully proven, what harm is there in living this way, helping others, serving humanity, giving without expecting anything in return? What harm is there in choosing goodness over selfishness? None at all. In fact, such a life is not only harmless, it is deeply meaningful. That day at 16, sitting in meditation, I understood something that has never left me. Consciousness does not die. It moves. It transforms. And our actions here are the key that determines where it goes. If we surrender to selfishness and desires, we remain trapped. If we live for others, we move forward. Life on Earth is the training ground, the preparation for what comes next. Since then, I have carried this realization with me every day. I have even given it a name, the theory of realization. I have been working on it for years, writing it down, expanding it, searching for the right way to express it. Perhaps it will take me many more years to complete, or maybe even a lifetime. But one lesson I have already learned, one that I will never forget, is this: never lose sight of the main purpose of life. Never forget that we are here for more than survival, more than pleasure, more than distraction. We are here to realize, to awaken, to rise. And if you, even once, allow yourself to sit still and look into this truth, it will change you forever. You will begin to live with awareness. You will no longer be a prisoner of illusions. You will no longer waste your life in endless repetitions. You will be awake. And in that awakening lies the key to crossing beyond this stage of existence. My journey began at 16, but the truth I found is not mine alone. It belongs to everyone willing to realize it. This is my experience. This is my philosophy. And perhaps this is the reason I am here, to share it with you, so that you too may remember what life has always been trying to tell you. Scientist and philosopher was here.